Okay, so I think we're ready to get started. Okay, so my name is David. I'm from Carmine Finance, and we have built Options AMM on Starknet. And we think that Starknet is really beautiful L2, and it works perfectly. So today I'm going to show you how to jumpstart your app. So if you're thinking about building decentralized app and you're looking for an L2, Starknet is an amazing choice. And I'm going to show you here in under an hour how to get started, connect to Starknet, let your users connect their Starknet wallets and everything. And yeah, it's meant as a code along session. So if you want to, you could take out your laptop and code with me. If not, you can. There's gonna be a recording, so you can get back to it anytime. And if you ever need some help, you can just ask me for anything. Right. So what we're going to need to create our app, obviously some IDE and terminal. You're gonna need to know some JavaScript, npm, which is the node package manager for JavaScript packages, and React. Now, you don't need to build it in React, but React is the most widespread front-end framework. So I'm building it in React, and there are many nice libraries for React, but you can use any front-end framework, or you can build it in vanilla JavaScript. I mean, that would be a bit hard, but you could do it. No worries about that. So in this example, we're using React. And so there are 3 milestones. I think we can do all 3 of them within 40 minutes or something. But if not, we can do the first one, no problem. We're going to read some data from Starknet blockchain. Then we're going to connect user's wallet, which should be pretty easy given all the beautiful libraries that Starknet has available. And should we have enough time, we're going to write some data to Starknet. Okay, so let's get started. I have created a starter project. So if you want to code along, you can just show of hands, is anybody going to do the code along? Yeah? All right, awesome. So I created a bit.ly link so that you don't have to write the whole damn thing. But if you go to my GitHub, you can find Starknet dApp demo. Just gonna quickly show, it's right here. So you can clone it or fork it or whatever. Sorry. And after you clone it, you need to run npm install in your terminal to install all the dependencies, such as React and stuff. And after that, if you run npm run dev, it should start your development server, and you should see a website like this. So for those coding along, did you manage to clone it? Yeah, the Wi-Fi, the ultimate nemesis. Are you also coding along?
I will try to catch up, but not sure if I will be fast enough.
You will be, don't worry, it's super simple. If you get past the Wi-Fi, you're fine. Okay, so how's it looking? Ah, awesome, awesome. Okay, so maybe while we're cloning it and installing dependencies, I'm gonna walk you through the project. I created it by running Vite create React app. So Vite.js is just a JavaScript bundler. If you're familiar with JavaScript and front-end development, you probably know those. And Vite is pretty quick, so I chose this one. And so what I did is I just ran npm create Vite at latest, and as a template I used React TypeScript, so React.js. So that's the starter that you guys are cloning right now. And I added some files to sort of jumpstart us. So if you're familiar with React, your starting point is this like app. So I just created a div and gave it a background image. Also added some little bit of CSS into the index CSS. So once you get this going, you should see a website like this. Oh, for the newcomers, do you guys want to code along? We're going to be building an app on Starknet. Yeah? So if you go to my GitHub, or you can just use bit.ly/starknet-starter. You can just clone it and then install dependencies and run the dev server. It's not mandatory, you can just look, but if you want to code along, you can. So how are we looking? Perfect. What about you? Ah. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry? Yeah. Oh, damn. Yeah, yeah. Or you can maybe try to connect to a phone. Can somebody make a hotspot for you, maybe? Yeah, I mean, JavaScript dependencies, that's like heavy duty download right there. Well, anyway, once you guys are ready, so this is our app. I have created this API.ts. This is where we'll be making requests. And then there's the components folder. And these are the free components that we... yeah, sure. Oh, that might be too much, huh? Yeah, this is okay? Okay, so we're gonna start with the total supply. So ideally, this component would show us the total supply of ETH on Starknet testnet. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this component here. And I'm using VS Code, and it's super smart, so it's already telling me that I have this component here, but basically you need to import it from components/total supply. And we should now see it right here. Yeah. So there's ETH total supply, but it's not currently showing us the total supply because it's not talking to the blockchain yet. So this is where the magic happens. In the API TS, we're going to use library Starknet.js, which here we can see the documentation. It's just starknetjs.com. And if you go to get started, here we can have a look at the provider object. Yeah. And here's some like graph. So you have the Starknet blockchain, and the provider is what helps you communicate with Starknet. And then there's like the contract and account. We're going to talk about that down the line. And here's our website. So first we're going to need a provider. And nothing's easier than to just go new provider. And it suggests to import provider from Starknet. So basically provider describes the provider of the connection to the blockchain. So we need to pass it some props to describe the provider. Oh, also, we're going to need to create a provider like this. And now, it used to be that you would use sequencer, but that was like the Starknet sequencer gateway, but they are being phased out. I think you no longer can use them on testnet. I think they're still usable on the mainnet, but now you want to use RPC provider, which is the decentralization. There are many RPC providers, so if one goes down, it still works, right? Whereas back when it was just the sequencer, there was like this single point of entry which could be like prone to errors if it were shut down somehow. So now we need to use some RPC provider, and to describe RPC provider, we need to provide node URL. And I have in my project created this file constants.ts that holds some constants that we're going to need, and one of those is RPC provider address. So we're going to specify node URL as RPC provider address. We're going to import that from constants. Okay, so now we have a provider. We can also specify chain ID. We don't really need to, because if you look at this address, ooh, wait, that's the wrong one. This isn't one I wanted to use. Hold on. Well, we can look for public Starknet RPC provider. And there's plenty of those to go around. Well, the one you can see here is actually our Carmine Finance, which is the one that I, in the end, decided not to show you, but I guess I didn't change it. Damn. Okay, never mind. Okay, so that's the RPC provider address. We can specify the chain ID, which we need to import constants from Starknet, and Starknet chain ID. And we're going to be doing this on testnet, because the final step is sending some ETH to a different wallet, and I don't want you guys to send your mainnet ETH to someone else. So we're going to be on SN Goerli, which means Starknet Goerli. That's the testnet network. So now we have a provider. The next thing that we need is a contract, because we are going to be asking a smart contract for some data. So we'll create new contract. And contract needs an ABI. Now, ABI means applications binary interface. And I have already created here abi.json. And this basically describes the functions that you can call on the contract, as well as some variables and a lot of stuff. And what we are interested in is the total supply. So we can have a look at testnet.starkscan. This is where you can interact with the smart contracts. And the one smart contract that we're going to be working with is the Ethereum. And notice that this isn't the L1 Ethereum, this is the L2 version of Ethereum on Starknet. And our goal right now is to call this function total supply and get the response that should look like this, okay? So first we need to create an instance of this contract. So we're going to pass in the ABI. So we have to import the ABI from abi.json, and we'll pass it here as the first parameter. The second one is the contract address. We can find that here. So if you go to Starkscan and you just type in ETH, it's going to find Stargate ETH, which is the Starknet Ethereum. I have it open here. So I can copy this address, or I have already put it here in the constants file. So I can just import ETH address, which is, it's easier to read if it's just the variable and not the full address, which is like 64 characters. And the last one is we're going to need provider or account. Right now we need just the provider, so I'm going to give it the provider that we have created. Oh, sorry, not this one. This provider that we have created. So this will create an instance of contract that knows what the contract looks like because it's described in the ABI. It knows where to find the contract because there's the address of the contract, and it's got a provider, so it knows how to talk to the blockchain. And so now all we gotta do is, I'm gonna do const response equals, we're gonna take the contract and we're gonna call a method, and the method we're calling, as we have looked here, is total supply. And then we're gonna give it call data, which is like, for example, if you have here balance of, you need to give it the account that you're asking for balance of. But the total supply doesn't need any arguments, so we can just put empty array here. Okay. Now, this is an async call, so we need to await it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And now we just return the response as begin. Now, obviously, you want to do some error handling in case you like cannot connect or something. Like you could do like try catch if you're like a JavaScript developer. This is just a quick demo, so we're going to assume that everything works. We're going to just go the happy path. So are you guys coding along this? Nah. Oh, damn. Really? Sorry. Okay. Sorry? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go back to the component total supply, and I'm going to import the function that I've just created, and I'm going to call it in the use effect. I don't know how experienced you guys are with the with JavaScript, but like, or rather React, because use effect is like the React hook that you use to call something when the page loads. So here we're gonna call the get total supply, and it's gonna yield us some response, which we're gonna use to set data. And we're gonna need another hook with the total supply. Again, this is like React stuff. If you know React, you've written this 1,000 times and you don't even need to think about it. But if you don't know React and you're looking at this, it might look a bit like dark magic. But the only thing you can't use, like, if you were to do let total supply equals, I don't know, 0, and then you would just set this variable to different value. The problem is that every time you interact with the website, the React component is re-rendered, and it would always set the value back to 0, which is why you need to use state, which keeps the state of the component across re-renders. So it's just a bit of dark magic that React needs to work properly. So here we can do set total supply to the response, res. Yeah, so the first time the component is rendered, this triggers, which calls the get total supply, and then it sets the total supply, this variable, to the res. Okay, and so now what we're gonna do is, if there is no total supply, Ah, sorry, sorry. Mhm.
Is the React content mandatory, or I can use something?
You can use whatever. It just React is the most common one and the one I have the most experience with. So I'm like confident in this one. But you can use whatever. You could use vanilla JavaScript. It would probably be quite difficult to like get into some nitty-gritty logic. But yeah, you could use anything. Yeah, I mean like the important part is this. This is where you're talking with the blockchain, right? And then you can display that information that you get as a response in whatever way you want, or just here choosing React, right?
So even the TypeScript is not mandatory.
Yeah, no, TypeScript just makes it less error prone. Like it's easier to find mistakes with TypeScript. So again, it's my tech of choice. It's not required.
If you don't like maybe statistics on the usage of these frameworks towards the Starknet, what you would potentially consider React to be something else. What would be the percentages of these?
Well, I actually have no idea what are the percentages of usage on like Starknet per se, but I have to say I haven't seen an app that would be written in something else than React on like Starknet so far. I'm not saying there aren't any apps written in different frameworks than React. I just haven't seen any, I don't think. But there are many amazing frameworks, but it's just React is so widespread that like whatever problem you run into, somebody has built a React library for that problem. Whereas if you use, for example, Svelte, I'm not sure how many Web3 apps there are written in Svelte. So there might not be so many libraries that would solve some of the problems that you might run into. Yeah, so like if you're starting with React makes the most sense. It's like really straightforward. And then maybe once you're comfortable, you could like switch to something other and build maybe some libraries yourself for other users of that framework, maybe. No, thank you. Okay, so how are you doing? Yeah. So okay, so we have a total supply that is initialized as undefined, and in this hook, it is set to whatever comes as a response from getTotalSupply function. So if we don't have any total supply, we're going to return a null, and if we do have some total supply, we're gonna show it here. And so, okay, the value that's being returned is big int, which is JavaScript native representation of big numbers. Because if you were to use regular number, you could get such a large number that you get an overflow. And well, normally you would get an error, which is like okay, but here you would get like a huge negative number because it overflows and goes back to minus. And yeah, so you need that's why it's using big int. So we need to do toString because it doesn't know how to display big int. So you need to do toString, and this is like the Redux. So you can do like base 10, base 16, whatever. Okay, so live coding demo. Let's see if it works. Chances are it might not, but oh no, it does. So here you can see total supply, and it's the same number that we saw here. So does it work for you guys? Oh, sorry. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it might seem like not such a big deal that we just see if total supply and some number here, but we just like queried the Starknet blockchain through contract and through provider, and yeah, it was fairly quick, I'd say, and easy, right? It's easy. Okay, so that's our first milestone. We have managed to show the total supply of ETH. If you're thinking that this number is kind of weird, you need to divide it by 10 to the power 18 to get like the ETH. This is actually way, like the sort of like the cents of ETH. And if you think that the number still doesn't fit, this is like the Starknet ETH. It's like how much ETH is bridged to Starknet. It's not the supply of ETH on L1. its supply of ETH on L2 and on testnet of L2. So like this number like pretty much doesn't mean anything, but it's a nice number that we got from Starknet. Okay, so let's get to the milestone number 2, which is connecting wallet. So there are 2 major wallets on Starknet. One is ArgentX, the other is Bravos. As you can see, I have both. And okay, so to connect wallet, we're going to use a dependency called Starknet Kit, which has been built by the Argent team quite recently. I think like 2 weeks back they did a demo on it, and I thought it was a nice demo, so I put it into my demo. So we're going to move into the next component, which is Connect Wallet. And here we have a button that says Connect Wallet. So we're going to add it to our app.tsx. And now we can see this Connect Wallet button, only it doesn't do anything yet. Okay, so again, if you're familiar with React, we're going to use some hooks again, because we need to keep track of the wallet that is or is not connected. So we're going to create wallet and set wallet, use state. So again, this is to keep track of this variable across renders and re-renders. If you're a front-end developer, you know. If you're not a front-end developer, then tell your front-end developer to build this for you. And so we're gonna need to pass the wallet into this component. So we're gonna have wallet, which is a connected Starknet window object. Okay, so now this might seem a bit cryptic, but basically Starknet.js exposes this interface, connected Starknet window object. And if you want to have a look at what such a connected Starknet window object looks like, you can actually just go into your DevTools. And I'm gonna try to make it a bit bigger. Ooh, never mind, maybe not. It zooms the page, not the console. Anyways, so basically if you have wallets in your browser, they are exported on the window object. So you can do like window.starknet, and here's both Bravos and Argent. And basically, so this is just like an object that's right here, and you can see is connected false. So currently I am not connected to my Starknet Argent, but ideally we would like to change that. So back to the connect wallet component. So we're gonna need the wallet, and we're gonna have this function set wallet, which takes wallet which is either connected Starknet window object or undefined if we want to sort of disconnect the wallet. And this just means that there's no return value for this function. So, okay, and here we can do props of type props. So now if you go to app, here you can see that it's complaining that it takes some props and we don't have any. Oh, by the way, this can be undefined, so I'm gonna put in the question mark, which means wallet either is set or is not, both is okay. And now here we set wallet equals wallet, and set wallet equals set wallet. Yeah, so this is known as the props drilling, where we have props here in the app and we drill them into the components. Oh, I didn't specify the type here. It's again connected Starknet window object or undefined. So as you can see, it's not much code. It's maybe a bit fast and confusing. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we're gonna get wallet and set wallet from props. Beautiful. And If there's no wallet, we want to show the button that says connect wallet. But otherwise, if we do have a wallet, we want to show a button that says disconnect. Yeah, so if the wallet is set, it's not undefined, then we show, wait, if the wallet is not set, because this is negation, we'll show connect wallet. Otherwise, if the code doesn't stop at this return, it moves to this return and returns this button that says disconnect, right? Because we want to either connect or disconnect. And now these buttons will have to do either handle connect, which it will be an async function, or we need to handle disconnect. Okay, so when handling connect, we're going to get a wallet by calling connect function. Now, this connect function is from Starknet kit. So basically, all the difficult stuff, all the logic behind it, it's handled by this third-party library that is developed by Argent team. And all we have to do is just call this function. And we can provide it some sort of, as a parameter, we can give it some options, how we want it to behave. I'm going to set modal mode to always ask, just so that it can like ask us which wallet we want to connect, and we can look how beautiful the modal display is. So this will give us a wallet object, and it can be, as I showed here, with window, Starknet, Argent. It has this is connected, which is right now false. And after we call connect, we would like it to be true. So we're going to check that that happens. So we're going to go wallet.isConnected. And if that's true, then we are going to call set wallet. So what that's going to do is it's going to call this function here in the app, and it's going to set state to this connected Starknet window object. That's the wallet. Okay. So yeah. And in handle disconnect, we're gonna call the function disconnect. That's again from Starknet kit, and then we are gonna set wallet to undefined because no wallet is connected anymore. And now we're just gonna set that here, this button, when we click it, we set on-click event, we're gonna call handle connect. And here when we click this button, we're gonna call handle disconnect. Okay. And we're gonna check if it works. Connect wallet. So we didn't have to write any of this modal, any of these connectors, and we can already see that there's like continue with email, that's the Argent email wallet, there's mobile wallet, there's the regular Argent X wallet and the Bravos wallet. So I'm gonna connect my Argent wallet. Now normally the wallet would pop up and ask you if you want to connect and if you want to allow this application to interact with your wallet. I already did that, so it's not asking me anymore. But now you can see that the button turned from connect wallet to disconnect. So we are now connected, and we can double check that by going here again and looking at Starknet Argent X. I'm not sure if you can read it. Dot is connected, and you can see that it's now true. So yes, we are connected. And I'm just to like show you that we are really connected, I'm gonna go here to the app.tsx, and I'm just gonna do a quick thingy. So if the wallet is set, I'm going to show a div, just like the basic building block. I'm going to give it a class name of container. I have created some CSS rules for class containers, so it looks like same as the other containers. And inside there's going to be paragraph that says your address is, and here we're going to go to wallet.account.address. And again, because we're using TypeScript, you can have a look at this interface, and you can see that on this wallet interface, you have account, which is of type account interface, which has address, which is a string, and then has a signer and Cairo version. So, I mean, it might look like a magic when I'm just like saying, yo, we're going to show wallet.account.address, but you can like find it all inside the code, or you can go to the Starknet.js, and here you can have a look at the classes, and there's the account interface, which has the address amongst other things. And so you can like find it all here. But if you've never built any decentralized app and now your boss is like, hey, Jude, I want you to build this decentralized app, you might be a bit like confused and don't know what to do. So that's what this demo is for. You can always have a look at this video and find it within minutes, hopefully. Anyway, back to my demo. We should see the address. Oh, and here it is. My address is 0x29AF, and if I open my Argent wallet, you can see that it really is 29A, and it ends with F08. Yeah. So that's milestone number 2. Our wallet is connected. We can see our address. Everything is awesome. So you guys still trying? I mean, it should be like there should be a recording, so you can have a look at it and try it at home a bit slower. What about you? Are you keeping up with the demo? No. Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense. I was going a bit too quickly. I'm sorry about that. Okay. So that's our wallet connected, and we can jump onto the last milestone, which is we're going to transfer some ETH from your testnet wallet to my testnet wallet. We got to send it somewhere, right? So I have created this transfer component, and I'm going to add it to the app. I named the component transfer. So we can see it here. This is where you put the address you want to, it's kind of small. I'll make it bigger. Give me a sec. You can't see the Starknet now, but you can see the app. So this is where we put some address, and this is where we put some amount that we want to send. And here's the send button. Right now, it doesn't do anything, right? Because this is just like the template that I created to get started with. And in the template, you can see there's this div, that's the container, and we have to address and amount. So that's what we see here. And there's the button, which on click calls handle click. So now it is up to us to implement this function where we send the amount of money to the address specified. So we're going to go back to api.ts, and now we need to write a write function that will actually write data to the blockchain. So again, I'm going to create a function. Let's call it send ETH. It's definitely going to be async. Now, so what we are going to need is an account, because the account, as you can see here, the account interface has the signer. So in order to send some ETH, you need to sign the transaction, and the account is what's going to sign that. So I'm going to say that this account is the account interface. I'm going to pass in amount, which is actually a string because you write it into an input box. So even though you're writing a number, it's actually a string. And there's going to be the to address, which is also a string. Nice. Okay, now we have this contract, which is the if contract, which is the one contract that we want to interact with. But we need to connect it to our account to give it a signer to sign transactions with. Okay, so we're going to do contract, and the contract has a method called connect. Is there some documentation? Attach to new provider or account. Wow, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to connect it to the account that we have passed into this function. I mean, we haven't yet, but we will. And now we can do contract dot, and it's either invoke or execute. Invoke, right. So here, when we were getting total supply, we called contract.call. So if you do contract.call, you're calling a read function. If you do contract.invoke, you're doing a write function. You can see that here on StarkScan, you have the read functions, and here you have the write functions. And we want to call the transfer function. Yeah? So we're going to invoke, first parameter is the method, that's transfer. And the second one is arguments. Now, it might get a little confusing. We're going to look at the ABI, which is, again, the application binary interface. And we're going to find the transfer function. It's right here. And here we can see the inputs. So the first input is recipient, which is a contract address. And the second input is amount. And the amount is supposed to be unsigned integer 256. So 256-bit or byte-bit integer. So we actually need to turn the amount, that's a string, into a uint 256. So we're going to do amount u256 equals, and again we're going to use Starknet.js, which has here amongst classes, we should find, let me see, wait, no, it's actually in namespaces. There's uint256. And we need to turn big number into uint256. And it takes as a parameter anything of type big numerish, which is string number or big int. We have a string, so it should work fine. So we're going to go uint256, bn to uint256, and we're going to pass it the amount. And hopefully this should be amount as unsigned integer 256. So here we're going to go to address and amount. And we can store it as a response, and we should await it because, again, it's asynchronous call. And maybe we can like console log it to see the response. Okay. Awesome. We're going to go back to the transfer component, and now that we have this function, we want to call it here. So what did I name it? Send if. And it takes, all right, it actually needs a wallet. So we're going to need a wallet. And again, we need to do the whole props drilling. So we need to send wallet in here. And yeah, so we're going to go here, props.wallet.account. This bang here, it means that I know that the wallet is not undefined. It can be undefined because the transfer component is rendered even when the wallet is disconnected, right? So right now it would be undefined, but I mean, we're going to handle that, no worries. Okay, so this is the account, and now we need amount and to address. So that's the handle click function inside the transfer component, and when you click this button, it's going to call this handle click, and we should probably do something like disabled. So if there is no wallet, so the button should be disabled. Props.wallet. Which is why we now inside the handle click can be certain that the wallet is actually defined. Okay, that was quite, I actually used the wrong amount here. Quite a bit of code without checking if it works or not. So what do you guys think? Is it gonna work? So I am connected with my Argent wallet and I need to send my money to a different wallet. Or actually I think I can send it to the same wallet, but it doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna go into my Bravos wallet. That's the wrong one. I gotta switch to the testnet, so Starknet go early. And this is my account address. So I'm gonna put it here. And now I'm gonna send some crazy amount of ETH. Again, you gotta keep in mind that this is like, if you need to divide it by 10 to the power 18 to get ETH. So if it's got 18 zeros, that's 1 ETH. So this is like the button is disabled right now. Let me check this. So it's disabled. Oh. Wait, that's weird. Oh, no, never mind. I didn't, I need to pass the wallet here. Sorry about that. Yeah, live coding, always fun. And here we are. So now my Argent wallet is asking me to confirm to send the money. Here you can see some details. It's on testnet. It's being sent to my Bravos wallet. And now I can just click confirm. And you can see that the transaction is happening right here. I think it's already finished. It's way too quick. So now I have more ETH than I had before, but I don't think I showed you how much ETH I had before. But yeah, we have successfully built a decentralized app that allows you to send ETH from your wallet to whomever you want. And yeah, we did it in about 42 minutes, which is like pretty good, I'd say. So I went a bit too fast. So the guys who were brave enough to code along got lost eventually. Sorry about that. But if you want to check out the final product, again, if you go to my GitHub, I need to find it quickly. So there's the Starknet dApp demo. Wow, the Wi-Fi really is slow here. You can go to branch final, and this is where you can find the final product. So if you clone the project and you switch to branch final, everything should be implemented here and working. Let's just have a quick look at the transfer. Yeah, so everything works. If you want to build a decentralized app on Starknet, it takes 42 minutes. Also, like the next step right now would be, so you can probably see that we have the wallet defined here in the root component app, and we're pretty much drilling it into the connect wallet and into the transfer. As your application grows, there's more and more components, and this becomes like really cumbersome. So you like, this isn't a particularly good solution. It's a simple solution if you want to like build something quickly, but if you want to like go more in depth, I would tell you to use Starknet React, which is a library built by Apibara team, and they have just announced like yesterday version 2.0, I think. And this will give you like Starknet provider, and then you can use their custom hooks across your app. And it's a bit more difficult to set it up. Like it's like 5 minutes, but if I were to show it live, it would look like crazy because it's some black magic. And then it like allows you to use your wallet across your entire app, which is like pretty great. So yeah. So if you want to like start with this starter and then move forward and build something bigger, you should probably use Starknet React. There was the question before if you have to use React, if you can't use like Svelte or Solid.js or something else. If you use something else, you cannot use Starknet React, but everything else works like, yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. You can have a look at our beautiful options AMM. You can read our Twitter or X. It's now called X. Or you can find me on X. And if you have any questions, I'm here. No questions? Thank you. Thank you.